So here we have our slide presentation with our to-do. We've all signed up on the list, and the last slide currently has the event. In your notebook, you should have drafted a copy of your slide, what you want to do. And now it is time to make your slide. So we'll go to slide 3. Okay. And over in the side panel, you can click on the slide, right click and copy, or Control C. And then we want to make a paste that in somewhere. So we will paste at the end, Control V, and drag it to where we want. Now, the good thing to do would be to put your name in here. So bottom, you can put your name, Lynch, and your event. And you put in the location and the dates. And let's say we want to make sure that we are only editing our slide. So go ahead and put your event up at the top. Kilauea volcanic. And let's say you want to add another sphere. So you can select the sphere and copy it, Control C and paste, and take that sphere. You can wait until you get the double arrows and click and drag it. And on Google, they give you nice little red marks to help you line up with it. And let's say we don't want it to be the biosphere, we want it to be the anthrosphere. You can select the word and change it. It looks like anthro is a little too big, so we should change the text size so that it fits. Anthro fits. And let's make anthro a different color than the other spheres. So the fill color is up at the top. How about magenta? That's totally human. Now we can go ahead and now that we've added our sphere, we can go ahead and put in some text on one of these links. We can go how the hydrosphere affects the geosphere. So right now that text is a little hard to read because it is small and it is overlapping with the arrow. So you can move it back and forth using the arrow keys. And if you want to use a fine adjust, you can use Shift. And let's go ahead and right now I've got an arrow in there and the text. And if I wanted to copy the arrow, Control C, Control V, and let's go and move that arrow to the biosphere and the other end of it to, you could move to the anthrosphere or move to the anthrosphere. With this arrow up here, you can adjust the line weight. Let's say we think it's a really important effect. We can make it big. That's a little too big. Or we could make it a bigger effect like that. We can change the pattern, so it could be a dashed line. We can go ahead and change the color on that one, make it orange. And let's add some text to that effect. So we go ahead and select a text box up here and put it in. And the other one was 8 points, so we'll match that. How the iosphere affects the Earth sphere. And I misspelled biosphere, so we can check that. Okay, let's go ahead and select all that text. You can use Control A to select all of whatever you're looking at. So within a text box, it is all of the text, or if we are within the slide, Control A selects all the pieces of the slide. Back here to our text box, all the text, and we want to give the text some color. So let's make it mostly match, but slightly off hue. Oh, that's the background color. My apologies. I made a mistake, so we can undo that with a Control Z. I want to change the text color. So no, that's too light. Maybe we'll here. All right, so now we have a text color that mostly matches our arrow, but it's at a funny angle relative to the arrow. So we can click on the top dot there with the crosshairs and drag and rotate until we get something that lines up. We've added an arrow, we've added a text. All right. The last thing that you might want to do, there's a couple more. If you want to have the arrow and the effect, and the text come in together, you can select both things with a control click, and then you can go up here to Tools, Arrange, and Group. And you're grouping the two things together. You can do the same thing over here for our first interaction, and we are going to arrange them in a group. And now we'll select one, and that whole group is selected. We can say Insert, we come down to Animation, and so now we want to fade in an animation, and we click, and we'll add this one, and we'll also fade that one in, also on click. And now here we can play through to see how it looks. We click once, and we get the first one, and we click the second, and we get the second one, and we are done. We could also change to after previous so that the first one would go and then automatically the second one would go, and you can adjust the delay here. So let's play through what that would look like. You do a single click and it plays, and the second one comes in automatically. That might be useful if you have a secondary effect that is a result of the primary effect, so they can come in one after the other. Okay.